So we're here again at the National Speakers Association National Conference in Orlando, Florida with Joanne Black. Hi, Joanne. Nice to meet you.
Hi, Brad. Terrific to see you.
Great. Congratulations. I hear you've just released a new book. Can you tell us a little bit about it?
No more cold calling. So how does that sound?
That sounds like a great thing. I think people would love to just forget about the cold calling we've been told to do for 30 minutes a day, every day at 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. for the last 30 years.
Well, and it's really not about not cold calling. What it is about is building a very proactive, intentional referral system, because everybody loves referrals. I bet you do too.
Oh, yeah. I'd love to have those. Sometimes we call them bluebirds, but they're not so blue, are they? You've got to do it very purposefully.
That's the idea, is to make it part of our process, because everybody says referrals are just the best business they ever had. But no one has the process. So it's common sense, not common practice. And I've closed that gap.
Okay, excellent. Yeah. Because, I mean, you can have a great idea, but then putting in practice and having a process to really make it happen and make it happen consistently and repeatedly, that's really what, in my opinion, sales is all about.
Well, that's it. And because I'm in sales, that's all I've ever done. It has to be simple, because we don't like complicated processes that take a long time. So give me a few steps, bullets, and just set me loose and let me do it.
Excellent. So can you give us just a quick overview of your process, just a couple of highlights?
Absolutely. So first, it needs to be a priority. I discovered a while ago that the word priority is singular. You know, you hear people say, I have so many priorities, I don't know what to do. But we can only do one thing first. So when we make referrals a priority, we just put that stake in the ground and say, this is the way I'm going to work. Okay. Then it needs to be part of our sales process, something we do every day. You know, we don't get to the end of the month and say, oh my goodness, I forgot to ask. We need metrics around referrals. We have to build skills. But the biggest thing we need to do is get comfortable asking for referrals.
I was going to ask you, so how do you get the referral? I mean, you can make it a priority and you know have the process in place, but then how do you get it?
You have to ask, and you have to ask very intentionally with people you know. You need to earn the right to ask. Be very clear about who you're looking for and who you want to meet. A referral means you have the introduction. If you just get a name, it's a cold call.
Right. So you're asking your colleague, the person that you have contact with, to introduce you to this other person. Is that right?
Exactly.
Now, what kind of tools are you using? People today are just buzzing about LinkedIn as a way to do that. Do you recommend using that, or what's your toolkit that you recommend people use for that?
Social media is great. I actually have a talk on put the social back in social media. It's great for finding out who people are, who they know, and doing research. Then you have to pick up the phone and talk to people, because sales is a personal business. People do business with people, not with technology. We need to have a personal conversation. Nothing replaces that.
Excellent. Yeah, someone yesterday had a talk on social media, and he was recommending, for example, using Facebook, he was calling it, what was it called? Friend feeding. Looking at someone's Facebook page and finding out who their friends are, and then calling them up and saying, hey, do you know this person? We have this person in common, or could you introduce me? I see you know this person. Could you introduce me? And just using the social media as almost like a database, but then picking up the phone as you're recommending.
Exactly. But even before social media, it's looking at all the people we know. I mean, our current clients are our best source of business, and we know lots of people within our client companies. People I ask all the time, are you asking your current clients for referrals? No. So, I mean, that's a perfect place to start. But then there's so many other people we know, and on top of that, we need to continue to be out there and build our referral network so we have more and more people we know and who know us, and we need to help each other.
Now, do you have a best practice you could recommend to us about how to keep like a referral engine going that that doesn't depend on you picking up the phone every minute? Is there a way to set up a system where people are referring and you're not even necessarily knowing about it, and to set that up so that it kind of happens purposefully and not just as a sort of a gift that you didn't have any influence on?
Actually, there's some new sites who do that, and there's one called You Refer, the letter U, and then Refer, and it's about creating advocates. But that being said, you still need to talk to people. I mean, sales, people buy from people, period. So it's asking yourself, well, how many clients do you really need? And so you could have people selling for you and working the referral business, and you can do the same for yourself. But you do a ton with technology, but then you have a conversation. And not only on the phone. I mean, if you've talked to people on the phone and a client's really important, this is a big deal, you get on a train or a plane or in your car and you go meet in person.
Right, that's excellent. And the idea of an advocate is very, very powerful. We all want our set of advocates out there that are working on our behalf, and just based on the good work we've done for them already.
I'd like to tell you about a talk that Eric Schmidt, the chairman and CEO of Google, did. He gave a commencement address to the University of Pennsylvania last year. And so here you have the head of this global technology company of Google, right? At the end of his talk, he said to these graduates, turn off your computers, turn off your cell phones, get out there and make that human connection.
Okay. Very good advice. Well, thank you so much for meeting you today, and thank you for your time.
Thanks, Brett.